guys, ¿qué pasa? What's up? Antonio Serrano here, and today I have a magical performance video for you. In this case, I'm going to show you my skipping rope routine. I am very proud of this trick because I love rope magic, and I'm going to be very honest with you. For the longest of times, I have been performing a mixture of Darryl rope routine, Tabari rope, Richard Sanders fiber optics, and I've never performed, until I discovered this adaptation, this trick, I've never performed a trick where the rope gets actually cut, right? I always perform tricks based on routines where the 2-3 pieces of rope are always the same, and they never change. You never cut them or anything like that. The very first time that I started performing a trick where the rope was actually cut was doing a dealer item, which is snip and skip. Skip and snip, or snip and skip, I don't know exactly. And this is a dealer item, and you have like a skipping rope with the handles at the end and a special gimmick, so you cut the rope 3 times, even a spectator can cut the rope 3 times, and at the end the spectator and you, or only you, pull using the handles, and the whole skipping rope is completely restored. I have performed this routine, the snip and skip, a lot of times, but I didn't like it because I could feel that the audience kind of got a little bit loose in the middle of this routine. Is quite long. You have to tell like a story. I went to a shop, they told me that they didn't have the exact size, you cut it in half, now you tie, and the process to cut the rope is quite unusual because you have to cut it in half, but first you have to do like a knot, and then you cut it in half, and then the 2 dangly bits, you tie them, and then those loops, you cut them. It's like no one cuts a rope this way. It's a great routine, I'm not going to lie. It's a great routine and quite magical. And the story makes sense. When you tell the story, it makes sense, the way you are cutting the rope and all that stuff. But for me, it wasn't enough magic. There is only one magical moment when the rope gets restored and the 3 knots fall to the ground. There is not enough magic for all of the procedure that we needed, right? But I really love the hook line of the skipping rope. We have a very famous song, a flamenco song here in Spain, Dale Comba, right? Comba means skipping rope in Spanish. So I put the song, I play this song before this trick, and it's quite funny. So I really like, and I have some jokes about I am not a sports person, I hate skipping rope. In PE, we had to do like skipping rope. Antonio, you have to skip rope, and I was like, please, can I skip the lesson? That would be much nicer. So I have a lot of gags that I do, puns that work, some of them in English and in Spanish, with the skipping rope. But I wanted to fit more magic inside of the routine. So what I did was take a longer piece of rope, put the 2 handles in the ends of the piece of rope, and perform a classic cut and restore rope routine. But the first thing that people see is the skipping rope with the handles and all that stuff. So I am framing it that way, and it's great because at the end of the show people say to me, oh, we love the skipping rope trick, and it's like, oh, that's great. That is great. Something that I love is when someone that has seen my show goes to another magician and he's like, I saw another magician, he did a trick with a skipping rope, and the magician is going to be, I never heard about a trick with a skipping rope. It's like, yeah, it's a classic rope routine, but people are not going to be talking about a rope, they are going to be talking about a skipping rope. That's something that I love. So in this routine, it's quite inspired, quite based, I would say 90% at least, by Michael's Finney rope routine, which I love. And instead of having only one moment of magic, I have a lot of them. I cut the rope, I make the 2 ropes equal, I restore them, I have a sequence there with the loop and the ends falling out, and then I do the last phase of the original trick, cutting the rope 3 times, but a la Michael Finney, right? Restoring 2 of the knots, and the middle one is not restored, and we can move it, and we have that extra moment of magic and that extra gag. So I think it's a great routine. Packs quite small. If you make the rope extremely big, it's quite funny. So without further ado, let's take a look. Okay, you are being a great audience. You are being an outstanding audience. Don't think that I am lying. I am not lying. I simply say the same every time that I'm performing. So I'm gonna show you right now a great trick. More than a trick, it is a story. I would like to tell you a story. I've never been a kid that really enjoyed doing PE, doing like kind of sports, things like that. I hated it. I remember once in class that the teacher asked us if we wanted to practice skipping rope or jumping one on top of the other, some kind of crazy choreographical thing, extremely difficult. I asked to skip the lesson. Yeah, they didn't let me. So they asked me to bring to the following lesson a skipping rope, something like that. You can see that this skipping rope is quite long. This skipping rope was much longer than when I needed when I was a kid back then, that I was extremely small. So I went to a skipper, that's exactly the term for a person that sells and customizes skipping ropes, and this skipper told me that he had to put the skipping rope to my exact height and weight. I think that the part of the weight was not necessary, but he was just curious. My God. He removed the handle and the other handle. He was basically like a very good handler, if you ask me. And when he's removed the handles, he pulled out of one of his pockets a pair of scissors. The scissors were longer than the yawn of a whale. Think about that. Completely true. And he asked me to help him to cut the rope exactly in half, more or less exactly in half. I said more or less because, let's be real, I was a small kid and I didn't have a lot of experience with arts and crafts. So when we cut the rope, oh my God, this is a mess. When we cut the rope, as you can see, there was a piece of rope that wasn't exactly cut in half. No, this is not in half by any means. You can take a look at that. That's not in half any day. Let's put it together here and here. No, not in half. But the skipper there, the guy at the skipping rope shop, he told me that you can put this together with any problem. You can solve this problem. See people are going like this, just a little bit like that. You can take a look, and now the two ropes are exactly the same. I was mesmerized and I said, okay, we can continue then with the customization. And he was, no, if we are not going to do it properly from the beginning, let's start all over again. There is a skipping rope that is completely restored. I was completely mesmerized. How are you doing this? And the skipper said to me, Antonio, you have to be very careful because we cannot lose the ends of the skipping rope. And I was like, what do you mean about the ends? And she was, yeah, the ends. If the ends fall, well, you don't have a skipping rope. You have some kind of a hula hoop. This is like a hoop. This is a hula hoop, something like that. This is not right now like a no, this is right now like a hula hoop. But no problem. He took the hula hoop, he took the ends of the skipping rope, and just by putting them on top with a very simple knot, this was like hypnotic. He simply went like that, and he had, once again, a skipping rope. Oh my God, this is crazy! This is a very good skipper. Oh my God! Oh my God! Right now, he took the scissors and he said, I'm going to cut the rope myself because I really need it to be cut in half precisely. But you can also help me because I think that to get the rope exactly to your size, we are going to need to cut the rope 2 more times. I had no idea what he was talking about, but he told me that the knots had different names. I have no idea about this. He said to me that he was a professional in knotism, yeah, which is the art of making knots, apparently. So I cut the rope there, and he asked me to cut the rope 1 more time. For example, este knot is called melenudo. The other knot, for example, is called barbudo, which are knots in Spanish. I have no idea. And the last knot is called menudo, which is a great foot here. All of the pieces were removed from the nuts, and this is incredible. We have this skipping rope, and he said to me, Antonio, here you have the ropes, here you have the handles. This skipping rope is perfect for you. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I am not bringing this home any day. I'm not going to bring home a skipping rope that is cut down in 4 different pieces. If I start to skip rope like this, I'm going to fall into the ground. If I fall into the ground, I'm going to get my clothes dirty. And if my clothes are dirty, my mom, you know that. So I don't want to bring home that. And she was like, no, don't worry. You simply have to believe and blow. And I went like that. and now pull, and it was incredible because when I pull, the 3 knots fall off the rope, and now I had a skipping rope that was completely restored. I don't see them. Okay, please, a kid there, could you please take the end of the rope? Thank you very much. Okay, and now blow on the knot. Please blow on the knot from there. You don't have to stand up. Blow on the knot. But pull, blow and pull, blow and pull, blow and pull. No, I think I know what the problem is. You are too far away. Try to do it now. No, a little bit closer. Try to do it now. Okay, take the knot and practice at home, okay? And this was the story of my skipping rope. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Yeah, and this was the beginning of my story, liking magic and hating sports. That's right. Let's continue.